to all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. This is Father Shawn Whittington's Paranormal Ministry Live 2.0. I'm your host, Father Shawn, and you all know who I am. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. And if you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things to see. But remember, my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So trust me, brothers and sisters, I know times are tough. But if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you, it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. Everything's there, my books, my online course that you can enroll in, a place where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues. And that's my song and dance, and I'm sticking to it. You know what tonight is. It's the last Monday of the month, and the last Monday of every month for at least a couple years now, we do a little thing here called Happy Medium Monday. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my very special co host for the night, live from Cape Cod, Cape Cod's only live on air psychic radio personality, the happy medium herself. Please give a big, warm paranormal ministry family welcome to the one and only Susan Ahern.
Hello, good
How you doing?
evening. All right, it's not evening where you guys are at, but
Listen, I want to ask you a couple things real quick here.
yeah,
Are you in your daughter's office tonight?
I am.
We know it's haunted.
It is.
Have I don't see the ghost balls.
I know I forgot them again.
Ah,
Ah.
and I wanted to know if, since I've seen you last, if your daughter or any of her coworkers have reported paranormal activity or how you're feeling in there tonight.
Actually, it's pretty good tonight. Yeah, I'm not really feeling anything. But you know what's funny is that things change once the activity around here, because we're getting to tourist season. So that energy is really high right now. We're getting towards 4th of July, and so there's thousands of
Oh
people here.
yeah.
That it's when it's quiet and the town, and I'm like the only one out when I leave the building, and the only one on the street going home. That's when the activity is crazy. So
Cool. Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I want to give everybody knows the rules, but for the few that may have tuned in that don't know the rules, you give free live on air psychic readings on Happy Medium Monday, and it's so simple. All people have to do is type in the live chat room there, type in the chat your question to Susan. She'll read it and she'll give you your reading right here. Um, we try not to do, it's basic stuff like, when am I going to meet Mr. or Mrs. Right? When am I going to become a millionaire? Um, Travel, health, things like that. We don't do any real conjuring of spirits on this night because uh, that takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, and that would be a completely different type of show. So, no questions like, could you please contact my uncle Harry and ask him where the buried money is?
Right.
So,
Although we've had that
yeah,
before,
we
so
have
that
had we
yeah,
have
we have
had
had
that.
that.
Speaking of that topic, how is Margot? Have you heard from Margot?
I saw Margot from a
You
distance. I
did.
was doing a birthday party down in Provincetown, and part of the birthday party was that they wanted me to do a house blessing. And they were thinking about selling the house, and they wanted to bless the house and bring in good energy so that they could move the energy. And there was a lot with it, but it was really nice. It was a great time, and I saw her off in the distance, and I couldn't race to say, Margot, how come you're not chiming in? She's always got good questions.
I think what happened was she was a big follower of mine when I had the radio show, and I
Yeah.
think somewhere me making the transition from um, uh, terrestrial radio to a Facebook Live YouTube thing, I think
Mhm.
somewhere she kind of lost me. I think she may know you know how to find us.
I
I'm
think it's a
just
technology thing for her on her
okay.
end. Yeah. So,
Well, if you bump into her again, tell her that I think about her a lot. I pray for her a lot. I hope she she had a lot of issues going on with the legal issues,
oh, right.
suing people and stuff that have done her wrong. I hope all of that turns out for the best for her. If you do run into her, let her know I said that.
I will. I will. So we have a shout out tonight for one of our. It's a junior investigator, a very good follower of yours,
Uh oh.
and yep. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Noah. He is listening right now.
I
So
know. How are you, brother? I haven't talked to no one. I need to get. Well, I'm glad you did that because I know, especially where you're at. I know you guys would go out in the dead of winter. You guys have gone out in the dead of winter and done investigations and
oh yeah.
spent the night at the Axe Lady's house and all of that stuff. Um, but I know that you guys are getting into like a really good time of the year there where you're going to probably do more of that. I need to get the whole team, you and the whole team back on again and just talk. I mean, even
Oh,
if you
I would
guys
love
haven't
that.
recently done an investigation, you guys have done enough where
Hmm.
we could just talk about some of the really cool locations you guys have been at, the
Yeah.
type of evidence you've captured. Um,
Daniel's going like crazy. He's like on fire going to
I
all
know.
these locations. And your name was brought up. We were talking about you. I bet your ears were ringing.
When
Because
was
he's
this? I have a weird story to tell you. When was that?
I think it was last week. He was doing the movie and getting ready, and I was helping him with oh, no ghost balls tonight, Sharon. Sorry. Um we gotta call those something else. It just sounds not right.
Yeah, well, I was gonna the old Sean, Reverend Sean would have had a comment to that. Father
Oh,
Sean's gonna let that one go.
Father Sean is gonna let that one go.
What did I want to say to you?
Oh, what was it? Oh, so
I
we were doing
because
the
you say that, but this happens a
yeah.
couple of times in the last couple of weeks. All of a sudden, everybody's gonna say you got the ear ringing thing. Old people get that. I know, but it's not that.
No, it's not the same.
I had the ear ringing thing
Mhm.
recently here, and I just knew it was somebody talking about me. And I've been thinking about Daniel a lot. He sent me that. Um, he was writing a new movie, and he had a scene in the movie about an exorcism. He
Someone's in the
wrote,
hall,
uh
but
oh.
there's no one in the building. See, they know the show's on. This is so cool.
You
Uh,
know who I'm hoping pops in here, and I'll get back to my story in a second,
yeah.
is Brett. I'm hoping Brett pops in.
Oh, I hope
Um,
Brett. I miss him so much.
he sent me that scene for me to
Mhm,
read and wanted my opinion and if it seemed authentic.
mhm.
And if I thought it would play good on screen, he would know if it would play good on screen better than me. But I loved it. I told him I loved it. I told him don't change a thing. And I've been waiting to hear from him on how that project is going and all that good stuff. But yeah, very talented guy. Um, People reach out to me all the time because I've mentioned it here or there, and I've promote it here and there. The movie that you were all in, the sci-fi movie, everybody loved that. So
Mhm.
yeah, everybody's always just waiting. You know, okay, I'll tell you what else. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. You and I first met because I was on an obscure late night, like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, obscure late night.
That is still my one of my favorite shows to listen to when I can't sleep.
And you were just listening in. I was the guest. You reached out to me afterwards. We became great friends. At least I think we're great friends. I don't know how you feel about that, but we became great friends. We hit it off. At that time, you were appearing every Friday morning on this really cool radio show. After that, you appeared, I don't know if it was more than one day a week with that really funny girl. And you guys did a show together for a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
I get people reach out to me all the time wanting to know why you're not on the air anymore out there.
Yeah, radio kind of hit a transition. I'm going to call it a transition because it's shifting and it's morphing and they're redoing itself and that's where radio's going. And they were I just got basically I got fired. Let's just call it what it is.
It
They
happens.
ran out of money. They ran out of this option. They were trying to do new things. And I'd been on working, I don't know, what, 5 years, I guess, doing my show every Friday. So that kind of went by the wayside. I do every now and then. I pop on to Stephanie Viva, Lemonadio Radio. I pop on every now and then for that. But she's like almost an hour away, and it's like really hard to get the dog up. Get the dog up and out, right, and get out of the house and to get him fed and paid and blah blah blah. And um, it's a little tricky, so I don't do that as much either. So
Well, know that there's people out there that watched you, loved
yeah,
you, and miss
no.
you. So the next time you get an opportunity to get uh, back to doing that sort of stuff, you'd have a fan base. I'm going to, what does it say? This is, hi, Arthur. This is me, Denise. Oh, hi, Denise. I'm using
Thank you, Denise,
AJ's
for
phone. My phone is
listening.
acting wonky. You know what?
That's
I'm
my
going to go.
sister. That's my
Oh, it
sister. I got
is.
to shouts out to my
Did you
sister.
tell
Yeah.
her that I posted a nice picture of the two of you the last time you were on?
No, this is my younger sister, my
Oh,
oldest
okay.
sister. Yeah, that was my oldest sister. My younger sister wasn't even born then. I think my mother was on the beach with her belly out to here.
Whoa.
Yeah, with my younger sister. So she got in the
Um,
picture, sort of.
I know Sharon's watching. She's in the other end of the house
Hmm.
on her laptop. As long as the battery will last. I forgot to charge it today, so she only had like half a battery power. Um, she had a couple of questions for you. I don't know
Hmm.
if worst case scenario, if she didn't want me to bring this up on air, I just won't get any dinner, and I could stand to lose a meal, to skip a meal. But here's the two questions. We had her son-in-law, Chris Terry. Everybody loved Chris. No big issues. It's sad that her daughter and him divorced, but it was, amicable. They had a daughter together, beautiful girl, just graduated high school, heading to college. And so they still had, it is what it is. Life happens. But he stayed in the home that they had bought in together when they got married. She moved to another house, but he hadn't, he'd lived there a long time. All the neighbors knew him and liked him, and then they hadn't seen him for a few weeks, and did one of those wellness checkup things and found that he'd passed away in the home. We still haven't got the autopsy report, so we were wondering about that. And then we were also wondering, it's a very, Sharon and I have been in the animal care field most of our adult life. She's been the office manager at this one animal hospital for over 20 years now. And but it's a pretty close knit community here. There's this one animal hospital here in town where these people, they'd been going there forever, brought their dog in to board because they're going on vacation. They're gone a week or two. They come back. They check the dog out. The people go in the back to bring the dog back up. Dog has vanished, and they don't know what happened to it.
That
So
is
that
so
was the other
crazy.
question what Sharon wanted to ask you about.
Right. Well, the first one I'm feeling, I've gotten three of the same cards is new beginnings, the fresh new starts. And so, and like like a cleansing. And so he is in, well, of course he's in a better place. I feel like he wasn't happy. Like he was, I think he projected he was happy, but I don't think he was happy. And so he right now is coming across very happy.
Oh,
Like
very
he's
good.
happy. He's in this new space, his new place. Um and then the word never. So part of that was asking if there was any foul play or anything, and it was no, there wasn't. Um, Now, does that mean it was his own undoing? That is that foul play, or is it just shenanigans on his part? I don't. I'm not getting. It just doesn't seem like there was any foul play there. Um, but it's so fresh for him. He's doing really good communicating for someone who's just passed. That's pretty recent. Even if it was 2 months ago, it was recent. Um, but where I got the same three cards, I'm just thinking this was his time. This his journey has started. He's really happy where he's at. He's much happier than he was on Earth. I think he was struggling, and so yeah, he's okay with his timing. He really was okay with his timing.
Very
So
cool. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't he doesn't have to hear me say this, but he knows that I liked him, and I've prayed for him a couple of times since hearing of his passing. So I know he's in
Yeah.
a better place too.
Yeah. I wish he felt what the love that everybody had for him. I don't think he heard it, but he didn't hold it. He didn't take it on as his, and he didn't have that same feeling. So I think now where everyone is going through that loss of see, oh, he was such a nice guy. I'd like seeing him when we walk the dog, or that kind of thing. There, he's going to hear that and feel that, and it's going to be very cleansing for him.
very cool, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a sweet guy.
And on that other topic, I know I would lose my mind.
Interesting. So this next
Uh,
oh gosh, why is that up there again?
uh, um, I I know I would lose my mind if I first of all, Sharon and I. This is the first time since we have been together.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, shortly we weren't even really. I guess you could say we were dating, but I mean we weren't even really together when she bought me. I had mentioned one day, you know what? We both talked about loving dogs because she had at least two at the time. And I didn't have one, and I had just put my Great Dane, who looked just like your Great Dane does,
Mhm.
to sleep. And I was wanting another dog, and I had
Mhm.
mentioned that one day I'm going to save up and buy a Neapolitan Mastiff. And so she, you know how Sharon is, she looks in the paper, and it was meant to be because there was somebody who just bred some and
Oh,
were
wow.
selling puppies here in town, and she got me this dog,
Oh.
one of the greatest dogs I ever had. Um, but and then we got two mastiffs right after that, and we lived here. We moved into this home with three mastiffs. When they all went to heaven, we got two more. So this is the first time that we have been in this house and together without no pets. We just, a couple of months ago, um, had to send our last mastiff to
Mhm.
heaven. So I feel I'm done. But these last 20 years, we just I'm that kind of guy. I would never go anywhere because I didn't want to board my dogs. I didn't want them to suffer and be put into jail because I want to go have a good time at Cocoa Beach. So we just never went anywhere because I didn't want to board them. I didn't want to,
Right.
make them. I would feel that they thought they would be abandoned or something. So
Mhm.
I know that I would freak out if I boarded my dog and came back to pick him or her up,
Yeah.
and the dog disappeared. So, for what
Yeah.
it's worth, I'm Sharon may even know some of the people involved there. If you've got any feelings on that, I can relate to her. Great, and if not, that's cool too.
Yeah. So this is cool. Interesting. The stranger card. So it's somebody that knows somebody who worked inside. May not be one of the workers, but it was somebody that knows somebody had access, sneaky access to it some one way. Whether it was they knew where they kept the key, they knew the code, they knew there was some. But what the whole deal is, I don't understand why would you what
Yeah, I don't
I
get it.
never get that. But the poor woman that owns the dog is just
Oh yeah, they've
and
they've interviewed her on their news. She's
oh
in a basket.
she is she's in such despair.
Mm.
I don't feel like there's anything wrong happening to the dog. Like it's not like it's a part of a sacrificial thing or it was abducted by aliens. It's someone has it and it's I don't understand why. It doesn't make sense at the moment. Yeah. So
Well, now I will talk to you about some psychic stuff.
okay, let's talk.
Some questions came in from some of your fans and followers that I wrote down. For some reason today,
Hmm.
I know we just had the strawberry moon, and I wanted to know if you tie any. You're a many times over near death experience survivor. I truly believe the gift that you have is a God given gift. I wanted to know your opinion on if you thought anything special happens to people with your gifts around something like the strawberry moon. And then two, today's date for some reason just kept jumping out at me. 6/24/24. I know
Ooh.
six usually means six isn't great. I believe it means a step back. But two and four, two is the right one. Four is the protection. So are you into numbers?
Actually, that
And
doesn't that come up to 666? If you if you add
I wasn't going
the
to
6,
say that.
oh, wow. Yeah,
I just so I thought,
that's interesting. Dee, 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 dee. Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm not a numbers person. I am, like, horrible with numbers. I think I've failed math since kindergarten, and I haven't passed it yet. So, I don't know. And I love numerology. I just wish I could hold that in my brain. I just can't. So, anybody that's into numerology, I think you're awesome. Um, as far as the moon, there's just the energy on the planet right now is so strong. It's so strong. And I was telling, friends and people that follow me that June is going to be a doozy. June is going to be a doozy. And it really has. And it's been crazy. It is just in all areas of, I try not to listen to news reports and stuff like that. I don't follow any of that. I don't feed into the media frenzy. And now I don't even like watching the weather because they're all about doom and gloom. Oh, the storm has killed millions and oh, you're going to burn and I'm like, "What? When did the weather channel turn into that too?" So,
yeah.
I'm like, "How about
Are
a
you in
happy
that
sunny
heat
day?"
dome in the Cape there? Are you suffering that heat dome?
We are not. We're very lucky. I mean, it is warm at the moment for us, but we've been cold. I've been walking around with a sweatshirt.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah, we were really lucky, and they were like, "Oh, go to the Cape. It's the only place that's gonna be cold." And we're like, "No, no, don't come here. Don't come here. No." So, um, yeah, right? That's what I was thinking too, Kate. It was like 666. Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the 111s have been popping up a lot too. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Um, But as far as just riding out this month, it has been so tough. It's just one thing after another. You're like, can we not catch a break? And we're really not going to catch a break. It's going to continue with this ebb and flow of um shenanigans that are just going to be not enough to take you out but enough to ruin your day a little bit. And it's how we handle that, how we're moving forward. If we're in a space of love when we start the day, then that kind of trickles through the rest of it. um the solar flares are crazy. They're zapping us. And so you really have to be in control of how you want your day to go. If you want to feed into the traffic jam frenzy and honking and yelling at people, then that's how your day is going to go. And if you want to just stop and smell the roses and just kind of laugh at the silly things that happen and go, oh, it's nothing personal, you know, and just kind of keep going, then that's what I would suggest. I listen to music. I'll put on some relaxing music or music that I like to listen to when I go through the grocery store, and I'm just da, 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 happy going through the store. And you bang into me, it's all good. I'm listening. I'm in an altered space. I'm just going to get what I need, and I get out, and I'm like, oh, I have to do that more often. So now that's my thing. When I have to go do something difficult, I just put on my jam, my calming vibes, and everything works out well. So.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want
Oh
to.
gosh.
Are you
I
the
am
kind of
still
person?
single. Is that the question? You
Oh
want me
no,
to
I
ask
don't.
you?
I learned my lesson the last time I asked you that one. I'm not touching that one. Um,
Good. It's a short story. No one wants to hear nothing.
when you go into the market, you pass by those bins that are full of stuff that you have to, decide what size bag you want, and then you get the little hand shovel thing, and you shovel in your stuff, and you weigh your amount, and you take it
Oh,
out.
right.
Peanuts or trail
They don't
mix or
have that. That's not a New England thing.
really.
Yeah, it's
I was
not.
going to ask you if you're the kind of person that doesn't feel bad about opening up, taking a handful, and then continue on with your
I
shopping.
open up, just open the gate and just let it all flow in. Yeah, that's not a thing here, and I always find that that's kind of, like, strange. Like, I know when I go to Naples down in Florida, they have that, and I'm like, "Oh, this is so much fun. I could buy all these things." Not good for me because I would not sample it to eat it and run away, but I'm like, "I need this, I need that." That's kinda how I go.
I knew I saw somebody asked about tonight. Yes,
Oh,
Natasha, tonight is the night where if you just type your question in for Susan right there into the chat where you're at, she will give you a reading. That's what Happy Medium Monday is.
yeah. So respectfully, I can't really answer questions for somebody else, um, like through on your behalf. The person, it has to be about you, first person. It has to be about you and where you're going. It can be about you and your relationship, but you have to be, the person. Um,
How's every time I see pictures of your dog, it brings back memories of a. I had a Great Dane that looked identical to that,
that is so
and that was a
crazy.
rescued. It was the only dog in my life I
Mm,
ever rescued,
mhm.
and that was another great dog. It was a female. Her name was Cagney,
Oh,
and
cute.
whenever I see pictures of your Great Dane, it reminds me of Cagney. But you're getting close to the point where, like, forget the electric car, forget if gas prices are high. You can just throw a saddle on that thing and ride
Right?
it around the Cape there. How's that going?
Oh, he's doing good. He's doing good. He's a good boy. Yeah. He's 2, so he's slowing down a little bit, but he still has his zoomies. He gets really excited. He loves kids. So he's able to I had family coming, and, I was able to stay with him for a couple days, which was so nice to have their company. Um, and so, yeah, he loves the kids. He just fed off of that energy.
That's good because
He's
sometimes they can go the opposite way, and then big, huge Great Danes that aren't socialized can be very dangerous.
yeah, yeah,
And when they're
right.
big babies, it's beautiful.
Oh, it is. He's just a big love, and I have a woman that takes him and several other dogs once a week to go for a walk and run to the so that he can get other dog socialization too. So and he all the other dogs, she's like, he's such a love, he's such a good boy, he's so kind. So I'm nice. It's always nice to hear. So, all right, Natasha, let's see. So you're looking for something that you could work on yourself or something, because I don't want to say unhealthy parts, because that's not. It's just parts that we need to heal or parts that we need to kind of put back into balance or find some information that would be good for you. All right.
Pull your mic down just a hair.
Am I breathing? It's turned into a creepy show really quick, didn't it? All right. So I pulled the piece, the moon, and the body. They are saying to pull back and go into yourself. You don't have a lot of work to do. We have all everyone has something to trigger, to just not to trigger. We all have something that we have to tweak, but it's almost like you need to take more time to go within. And I think the things that you're doing, either with meditation or anything around so that the moon for you, and then you have this circle as well, so the two circles are really positive. It's like things coming back, so you may be triggered by things in the past that you're remembering and you're going, why am I remembering that? And so all they're saying is to put healing towards that, to forgive yourself for, I don't know, for saying something that was kind of mean when you were several years ago, and now it's popping up and you're like, oh, I'm feeling really bad that I didn't have more compassion, because now you do. Now you have that awareness, you have that compassion, you have that state of being and sharing and loving. So where we were learning, you were just learning, you didn't know. And so what you need to do is just find the compassion for yourself and others. And this is it's horrible glare, sorry. It's the body. So it's coming back into center. It's pulling all of the dark side and the light side, and that shadow side is sometimes uncomfortable. But we have to just kind of sit with it. Not long. I mean, I don't want you sitting in it. I want you just to see it go. Oh, I get that, and then send yourself love and let it go, and love yourself for not knowing. Love yourself for not, conscious or unconscious. So.
And
Oh,
he wants a raise.
he's not getting one. Bad dog. Bad dog.
um,
I hope that
oh,
was helpful, huh?
something else. One of your fans and followers asked me earlier this week, and they saw the Happy Meeting Monday was coming back. Apparently, they go to your page a lot on Facebook. You have a Happy Medium, all one word, Facebook page, and you
Mhm.
used to give like astrological updates there, and you haven't done one in a while. They want to know what happened. Are you okay? And is
Blah, blah,
she not doing
blah.
going on this page anymore? I said, I'll ask her.
Right? Well, June was messing with me. I got Lyme's disease.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I
How
am
was that?
struggling through
Oh
that at
man.
the moment. So, yeah, I really like people. I so admire people that can do regular updates all the time. I am just not that lucky. Like, I'm always got something happening, and they always kind of, I feel like I'm putting time out again. Like, they want me to slow down, and boy, am I have to slow down. This has
I'm
been
so
tough.
sorry to hear. Why didn't you tell me that?
I'm
Reach
telling you
out.
right now, live.
I'm so sorry about
Sharing
that.
it with the world.
That's scary
I
stuff.
I do need bubble wrap. I totally do because I just was my broken foot that I was broken forever, and now I just am able to go back to work, and I can work maybe 3 hours, and I am dizzy, I am, like, zonked, I can't move. I go to instant someone, like, pulls my plug, and I'm like, "Meow." That's it. So,
What are they doing for that now? Lyme disease.
they give you I'm on doxycycline at the moment,
Is that
but
something that stays with you, or does it eventually just run its course and move on?
I don't know. It depends on how long I've had it, and I'm not really sure.
I'm
So
sorry, Susan. I'll say
oh,
a
it's
prayer for
okay.
you
It's
after the
okay.
show. That's
Thank
terrible.
you.
Go out to
It
walk the
stinks,
dog.
but
You're all in a wooded area. I've seen you
I am
post
not gonna
pictures of
stop.
you
Yes.
out, yeah, out there with him roaming around.
Yeah, and I'm
Um,
not gonna stop going through the woods. That's my happy place. It's my solace. So,
and then I hate it
um,
when they get on the dogs too. And these ticks find these most obscure w- ways to attach. I mean, you really have to look between your dog's toes and under their pads, and
yeah.
then the creases of their ears, in their rectum. I mean,
He
they get
has that
everywhere.
yeah, I haven't gone there. Maybe that's why I got bit. I have not looked there.
I'm sorry.
But, um he's on the I don't know, not Seresto, he's on the other one that if it bites him, it dies, not him, he doesn't die, the ticks die, and, it's not it just I found them on me, I found 4 in the past 2 months, so it's one of those. But if it's that Lone Star and I can't eat meat again, I will be so pissed. That's all I have to say. It's like Zach and his Winky Dinkies or whatever he eats, his raspberries, Zazzles, or if I couldn't eat those, oh, I'll be
My winky dinkies.
what are they called? What? They're like I don't even know what they're called.
They're called dinkies. I think they're called dinkies.
See?
He's laughing because Winky Dinky
Winky Dinkies.
is a
Yeah.
little pet pet name that
No, it's
They're
Adrian
Winky
called zinger dingers.
Oh my god.
Dingo.
Zinger dingers, Winky Dinkies.
Winky dinkies. I love that.
They
He's
all have
got
the
a
same the calories. That's
he's
right.
got a house full of kids now. He's got to hide those. But Winky
Yeah.
Dinky is a little pet name that Adrian has for him. So that's why he got apparently.
Oh my god. All right.
That's
So
micro dinky.
so we're asking about a financial job opportunity. All right, let's look and see. Oh. It's got to be something that's at home because your body can't handle it right now, and that's the body card. It can't handle it. and you need to stay at home. Um, if there's something you can do on the computer or something in, um, I don't even see if like it's a desk job. I just see like it's, I don't know. It does seem like it's at a computer. I see a computer in front of you, but it's got to be something that doesn't stress out your physical body, because this is what's most important. And it's telling me that this is the Inquirer card, but it's also the Destruction card. And so your physical body has had some challenges and is going through challenges, and excuse me, and you just need to stay home. So, yeah. Hope that was helpful. So this is something cool that when I was talking with Daniel. Oh, thank you, Natasha. And it's really, that forgiveness piece is really hard. Um, because we have to start with ourselves. And sometimes if you're that person that forgives others, but it's very hard to internalize that for yourself, it can be tricky. But you'll get past it. You're doing really well. So 10 points for you. You get 10 points for that. And thank you for listening. I appreciate it. What was I going to say? Oh, Daniel. So um I'm going to be helping him with the movie, and I've been like working in costuming and backstage and doing whatever he needs to do. I just want to be that
Very cool.
backstage kind of girl. I may get stuck into a role here or there or something, or someone walking by, but um I'm so excited because my guides keep telling me that more is going to be happening than we're aware. Like, he's going to be filming the movie, and he's got this target attention on the movie and moving forward, where me being not backstage, but being behind the scenes, I think there's going to be a lot more happening in this haunted location than he realizes. I think he realizes it now, but it's going to be really interesting. And I'm excited for that. So that's going to be fun.
Very, very cool. I'm looking forward to it too. And
Yeah.
he's usually pretty hush hush about his projects, so
Oh, look,
I don't
yes.
like to bug him about it. And eventually, when he completes them and he puts them out, there you go.
Oh, and he's so good. So he really is. He's really
And you are a very creative person and you're a hard worker. You may find all of that stuff's important
oh,
to the
it
final project or the
is. Mhm.
final product. And you may find something behind the scenes that you really love to do. And
Yeah.
just you're really good at it and it's your niche and
Mhm.
might find your niche there. So good
Well,
for
I
you.
worked backstage at the Lowell Auditorium in Lowell, Mass, and I would drive all the way up there from the Cape, and just to do backstage, do hair, makeup, and wigs and things like. Oh, I loved it. It was so much fun. So
Any have you talked to the gentleman that you worked with on that cold case about the Lady of the Dunes?
interesting that you asked that. Yeah, he called me today. I missed his phone call, so I got
Oh,
to call him back. Frank Duran, and yeah, he's always got something going on, so he's funny. He's
it's
pretty
very important. That part of what you do is very important. And I had just had a guest on my show Monday who is a lot like you and does cold cases.
mhm.
It's important. If you can find a law enforcement agency that buys into that and wants to use
Yeah.
that kind of help,
Yeah, and they
I
don't. Not in New
not,
England. It's so
yeah,
too puritanical out here where it's still it's hard. It's hard. It's easier out west, or you just go directly through the family. But I liked doing it documentary style and just going with what Frank's ideas were. He was a great director, producer, and I loved his stuff. And I know he's working on stuff too as well. So
very, very cool.
yeah, it is. It's cool.
How's the woo wagon going? I love the fact that you refer to it as that because when we first met, that was your nickname,
Woo.
Woo Wagon.
Oh, I love my woo wagon. It is I haven't, because of the limes, and I've been so exhausted. I have no time to do it.
What were you gonna
And
do? It's beautiful, and when I know you, I know your eye. At one
mhm.
time, you were going to do. Did you ever complete the Gypsy Wagon?
No, this is my gypsy wagon
There you go.
it's morphing into this. So it is it's an older horse trailer uh for two horses, and I've cleaned it out and we've washed it down, and that's as far as I've gotten. Noah's been very helpful. He thinks this is his and our project together. So we're working very hard together on it, and he's very serious about it. He's so cute. Um, so what it's going to be is that I've been having a hard time finding a place to work out of, and because ever since COVID, and the real estate market here, I've had a place to work out of, or a studio of sorts, and then someone would sell it, or I had to get out of it, or they're renting it just as something else. And so um, I'm tired of moving. I just want to have my own space. I have a studio at my house, but I can't use that. My insurance company won't let me use it to have clients. So I have to come up with another way to see clients. And so working and turning this woo wagon into a mobile studio is what I'm going to do.
I'm getting, I'm getting uh, the person you heard in the hallway at your
Hmm.
office.
Hmm.
Anything on that, on who that was?
I think it was Brett, because I heard it, you mentioned it, and I went, "Oh my gosh, it's Brett. He came through." Because he was showing me a deck of cards. And
And
so
he
I
had
thought,
yeah, yeah, that was Brett.
right? That's what I said. And I was like, I
wonder if he
started
ever
to get teary, and I told him,
wonder if
no, I
he
can't
ever
come
found
through.
out where the money was.
Oh, that'd be so cool. So give a little backstory to people that don't know Brett, and
Well, Brett was just a buddy that I've known since I was a little kid. I mean, I've known him all my life, and then he stayed in California when I relocated out here to Las Vegas many years ago. And but we stayed in contact. And I don't remember the absolute story behind the money, but I do know they had a he was co-owner or went on some type of financial adventure with a good buddy who passed away,
Mhm.
and they had money, but
Mhm.
his buddy had hid the money somewhere,
Yep.
and they didn't know where it was after he passed. They didn't know where the money was.
Yeah.
And then of course Brett just surprisingly turns around and ups and goes to heaven on us, and that was
Did.
unexpected
Yeah,
because
he did.
he never talked about having any health issues or anything like that. And
Mm-mm. No, he never talked about anything about himself. He was a very giving person. He was very, very kind. So, and a regular. He would chime in
oh
and
yeah,
be on the show all the time. I loved his communication. So it was really nice. And so when you talked about him, brought him in, that was that connection. It's so cool. You only need one common denominator to share, and that was it. It's like opens, it goes instant. Foop. Um, and he was standing there with the one deck of cards, but he had more than one deck of cards in front of him, but he was holding a deck of cards. And I was like, oh my gosh, thanks, Brett. That was very sweet. Yeah, very kind soul.
very cool. So what are you gonna do with the woo wagon? I mean, it's gonna. I know when it's done, it's gonna be cool.
So I plan on taking it to, it's just going to be like a little mobile office so that I can take it to country fairs. We have a lot of fairs around here, and I can take it and drive and go.
Very
And
cool.
um, be able to have people just come in, do their readings, do a reading and go. It just quick goes, just get them in, get them out, and enjoy the new people and fun festival energy. And I'll be really excited. We also have a in Mashpee. My friend Stephanie, the one that I was on her radio show through Lemonadio Radio, and um, they're doing a farmers market. That's what it's called. I was trying to think of
Cool.
the word. And so she's really excited. She's like, hurry up, get that done so you can come this way. So
See,
that's
that is
my,
one of the things I remember about being a little kid growing up in Colts Neck, New Jersey, was the weekend drives out to the country and stopping at the roadside uh, places where you would get like fresh apple cider and fresh
Mhm.
fruit, fresh
Honey.
vegetable. Oh yeah.
Oh, my bees are doing fantastic this year. I had a bad year last year. This year, I can't keep them in houses enough. I keep every week I have to put on a new house. They just are
Oh,
exploding. They're so happy. There's so much honey in it. It still has to kind of be in there a little longer, but
I
yeah,
need a
it's going to be
picture of
good.
you in your bee suit.
Okay, I will do that. I will get you my bee suit.
I had to make a bee suit once, and I tell you, you remember that time back in the day when we had something followed Sharon and I home from a case we were working, and it took
Ooh,
up residence here in the house for about 2 months. It was brutal, but whatever it was, it manipulated the environment. And I remember one time I'm sitting in my living room. We have a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and I thought I left my garage door open because I heard children playing in the garage. And so I go out there to be the typical Joe Biden, "Get off my lawn!" That crazy old man at him. And there was just my garage was filled, the garage door was shut, but it was just filled with this swarm of bees. And I knew it was paranormal related, so I closed the door. I'm like, well, I can't afford to get a bee guy over here. They cost a small fortune. What am I going to do? A little voice said, well, you're going to have to make yourself a bee suit and go out there and deal with it. And I thought, well, how am I going to go out there? I'm not a bee guy.
right.
So I finally figured out I would put up, I made a little bee suit. I don't even know what, I should have taken a picture of myself in it, but I made this bee suit, and I decided I would go out there and not swat at them, but walk very slowly to the garage door, unlatch it, very slowly walk back in the house, go back outside and very slowly open the garage door, and then very slowly walk back in the house, wait a couple hours, go out there and see what happened. It went off like a charm and the bees were gone.
Oh,
But
wow.
those were the kinds of things that would happen. I would go out and work in my garden, and big black birds that I'd never seen out here before in Vegas before would appear, and they would just start dive bombing me and stuff. So um, sometimes these malevolent things, when they're
Yeah, that's
present,
interesting.
they manipulate the environment and make
Hmm.
crazy, wacky things happen. It's
Yeah,
just a
very much
trip.
so. Oh, I had a thing that I was watching while in my convalescence, sitting there trying to feel better. Um, Ghost Adventures. I was watching season 2, episode 5 of the one that he does the house calls.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
always like to see what other people are doing and what their thing is. And it was interesting. And I wanted to ask and see if you could relate to this. That what I was finding was that if they had ashes, whether usually it was a mother or father or a family member had died, the people had their ashes in the house, that it was somehow kicking up paranormal negative energy. Actually, it was most of them was negative energy. Have you ever seen that? I've never
I
seen it
have. I
like
always caution people about that.
that.
I
Okay.
usually say, you can bury your urn in a mausoleum with
Mhm,
the ashes, and you can
mhm.
also go out and have them sprinkled wherever you think the loved one would love to be sprinkled. I tell people be cautious about, especially if the person, I'm going to get hate mail for this. If the person wasn't very nice and
Mhm,
didn't live a very good life,
mhm,
and they attracted that kind of stuff in life, having
mhm.
their ashes around afterwards, that stuff tends to hang around with it and intensify. I didn't use it tonight. I don't. My night with you and my night with Joy, the 2 Mondays of the month that I do a show, I don't do the prayer urn. But you know that prayer urn where I pull the
Yeah.
prayers out of?
Yep.
That's a an actual urn that Sharon and I, we went to this obscure Paracon many, many, many years ago out in the middle of the desert, and they were having a silent auction, and they had this table full of stuff. It's so funny because me and her both at the same time locked in on that urn.
Interesting.
First, I asked were there still ashes in it, and they said no. I said, "Do you know if ashes were in it?" They said, "We don't know." But Sharon and I both fell in love with it. We bid on it. Nobody else bid on it, and so we got it. And that had an attachment when we brought it home. And I'm
Mhm.
glad we're talking about that now. It was a good attachment though, and so I part of me turning it into a prayer urn was praying for this soul to move on, and it did. and then I just transformed it into a prayer and to make something, really beautiful and spiritual out of this
Hmm.
encounter I had. But I was on your website stalking you this past week, and I saw you selling beautiful table tipping tables. I'd never
Oh, my
seen that on.
table tipping tables. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that. Oh, wait a minute. Before you do, I know you
Oh,
think
let's
you
do
have a
with
question.
Natasha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled her a card. The people that are, and there's more than one. There's more than one guide in your kid's room, and I believe it is their guide. It's in or someone that is watching over them in a positive way. But I would always cleanse and clear constantly because we're always picking up things. We're always bringing things home. We're always, especially because you have such nice light energy, Natasha. You shine brightly, and unfortunately, the more we shine, the more junk gets stuck to us, almost like burrs or little things that kind of they don't ruin your day, but they're just still something you need to just take off. And so I would say, even when the kids are not at home, and just do a cleansing in the room. Only that which is of love and light are allowed to be here in this room. That's it. It doesn't have to be anything huge. Um, for your children's highest good. And that's all you need to just reiterate that this is a loving environment and only love lives here. So I hope that's helpful.
Very, very cool.
She's
Arthur's got a good one too.
All right. Thought of this, but my brother-in-law has been missing. I didn't even think to ask you until now. Do you think the cards could give us a place to look for him, or should I call you at another time? Let's ask. Let's look. Um, I need to know the location that he was originally in. That would helpful, but we don't need that right now. Um, he's in a dark place mentally. So um, the moon. This is about darkness. And then all of a sudden the water in this, but the water came up. So I'm not sure if he does live around like the lakes or water area or anything.
Well, New
Um,
Orleans is near water. He's in New Orleans.
he's in New Orleans. How do you know?
Yes,
I
he
missed
read
that.
below the next thing down.
Oh, okay.
He answered you when you asked whereabouts.
Yeah, I'm getting water, so I don't know what that means. Whether I mean that could even be a pool, and so I'd really have to take some time and sit with others' energy and really figure that out. So yeah, maybe a call should be easier. Thank you.
Very cool. I hope you
Yeah,
get some resolution to that, author. I'll say a prayer for you.
yeah. It's not feeling super positive about his mental demeanor. It feels like so. There was
So
another
before,
question.
yeah,
Wait,
before we,
I don't
hmm?
remember what it was.
No, I think that was it.
No,
Oh,
I
I
had
asked you
one.
about your table tipping tables.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm just
I'd never
uh
seen that before. Those are beautiful.
they're very cool.
You
And
said
I've
seasoned. Does that mean they've been used?
They have been used. They all tip. They all have as you say conjured. They all have been used and I've used them as table tipping tables. So they're already ready. They're ready to go. Um if anyone does
You ever
table
worry
tipping,
about? Do you ever experience any of those types of tables having attachments?
anything can have an attachment, so I don't really care about that. I clean everything that comes in my house. And everything could have an attachment. Oh, that was the question. So someone asked me as I was talking to you about the show tonight and they wanted to watch, and they were wondering about the things that you bring home after you've taken them out of a haunted place, what you do with the items in your house.
Well, I have a technique
Mhm.
of binding them and blessing them
Mhm.
and putting them in a safe place. You got to be careful with that too. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me and said, um, you know, they don't know why all of a sudden their life is turned upside down and all this paranormal activities in their house. And then I start peeling the layers away and find out they're into antiques, They've bought a lot of antiques, but then somehow we will narrow it down to when did this particular activity really get your attention? What do you think you bought around then? And we can find out. I'm thinking of this one time, an actual gentleman from India had a wife who was, and I know this is going to sound silly, Genie in the Lamp. She was obsessed with lamps like that, or old oil, antique oil lamps. And he said she bought this at an antique store, brought it home, started cleaning it, doing the
Mm-hmm.
whole rubbing thing, and the next thing you know, she said she changed. So not only was they called it a gin, but not
Yep.
only did it was it attached to this lamp, but it attached to her too. And I also warn people about spirits are able to do that too. You don't just have to worry about demonic entities possessing. Some real malevolent behaving, unhappy, disembodied human spirits can attach to you. They don't possess like the demonic, but the attachment can be just like an ultimate energy vampire and just zap your life force, and then you change.
Hmm.
You start changing, um, and becoming unhealthy and angry and
Well,
bad
taking
thoughts.
on the energy of the imposter, I would like to say, or the stand-in. Yeah, definitely happens. I never shared with you that one of my near-death experiences, when I was coming back, I was guided by two angelic beings, and then it turned into just one angelic being was coming back to make sure that I came back and landed where I was supposed to, back on Earth, and they didn't leave,
Hmm.
which was very unusual. It was a very strange, very unusual circumstances, because usually they come back and then they let go and then they go and they return. And this one never did. And it stayed with me until I had it was causing problems. It was very interesting. And we'll have to talk about that in the next show, because
Pretty cool.
it I've never heard it ever happening. I don't know what happened. There was just such an extreme feeling of love between myself and this angelic form that it almost created some problems for me. So was interesting. So even good can not always be good.
Well, we will see you next month. On the last Monday of next month in July is the 29th, and we do are scheduled to have you on. So that's good news for everybody. And you know, I love you and respect you, and I really look forward to our last Monday of it. Sharon does too, our last Monday of every month. And give your dog a big smooch for me.
Thank you. I hope
Um,
everything goes well with you, and I'll be seeing you guys. Thanks everybody for listening. I so appreciate it. Love you guys.
I love you too. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye, Susan. All righty, guys. Another happy medium. That's a wrap. Another happy medium in the can. Susan will be back next month, the 29th. Don't miss that. Get your questions ready. I'm going to get probably 10 questions tonight from people that said, I really wanted to ask Susan, but for some reason I just didn't. This is why we do that show for you. So get your questions ready and be ready next Happy Medium Monday. I will be here this Friday, the 28th. Well, you're going to love them. Michelle and Amelia, the two co hosts of The Outer Realm. In fact, I'm going to be on their show Thursday night, and they're coming on my show Friday night. So it'll be a part one and part two with the gals from The Outer Realm. Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano will be here this Friday. So, what else do I want to say? USOCC.org, BishopJamesLong.com. That's the church I belong to. Go there, you'll find links to night prayer and Bible study if you're interested in that stuff. We have a United States Old Catholic Church clergy and parishioners private Facebook group page. Anyone's welcome to join. Give it a shot. If you're looking for a church that doesn't judge and accepts everybody, that's a good move for you. Go to Zach's website, communitypayitforward.us. We're going to have we're working on a very special Halloween show where we're going to have an auction, and we're going to auction off my books, Joy Pugh's books, um, some Happy Medium mugs, and some other things. We'll probably have some other things by then. But you can get all the information on Zach's website as to what the proceeds will be helping with for that thing. So check that out. Um, I'm on Facebook now as Lawrence Morais, which was an old stage name because my old profile got zapped. If you're having a hard time finding me and you want to be Facebook friends, track me down as Lawrence Morais. Send me a friend request and we'll hook up. And who do I want to thank? I want to thank all the networks that simulcast my show. Things Network, Packed, Little P, capital ACT, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel, Zach's channel, and Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment, and Spirit, Alabama. All those networks simulcast my show. God bless them all for doing that. And so, what else do I want to say? I think it's that time. It is bad joke time. I'm going to pull a bad joke that one of you sent in out of this haunted carnival barker hat, and it's my poor attempt to put a smile on everybody's face before I say goodnight. What did the fish say when he swam into a wall? Damn. Did you like that? That's some old footage I found of Zach at his previous job before he came here to produce my show. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Peace.